This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network. And joining me right now is Stuart Harshaw. He is the president and CEO of Nickel Creek Platinum. It's a publicly traded company. I got a couple symbols for you: NCP on the TSX and NCPCF on the OTCQB. And Nickel Creek will be presenting at our upcoming in-person investor conference, the Planet Microcap Showcase, happening May 3rd through the 5th, 2022. At Bally's Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. For more information to register and see that presentation, please go to planetmicrocapshowcase.com. And with that, Stuart, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
Good. Great to see you.
Great to see you too. So we actually, speaking of that, we've done an interview before on here, but before we get into some of the updates, for those that aren't familiar with the Nickel Creek story, give us that, one or two lines that best describes the company.
Well, it's the key message for me is that it's all about the critical metals. It's about the green metals. It's nickel, copper, cobalt, platinum, palladium in a jurisdiction that is mining friendly in North America, which really kind of aligns with really what people are looking for in the resource side.
Very good. So we published that last interview on August 24th, 2021. So let's get that update. What would you say are some of the company's highlights since then?
Absolutely. So back in 2021, we did a drilling program looking on our property for really high-grade massive sulfide near surface. And we hit high-grade massive sulfide near surface, which is always good when you're looking for that. 2 to 4% nickel, copper, PGMs, all within 40 to 50 meters of surface. So definitely open pit. The goal here is obviously to define an early starter pit or something along those lines, which we can bring into our economics of our project early. So that was really the exciting results that came out, if you will, last fall.
Very good. So, listen, let's talk a little tailwinds, okay? I mean, when it comes to nickel, cobalt, platinum, I have an interview that I did on my podcast that's coming out shortly, where we talked about these battery metals and the importance of them and kind of closing the gap. So from your perspective, where are we at as a company, and how do you fit into some of this demand that's out there for some of these critical metals?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's talk nickel. It's been a bit of a crazy, if you will, few months for nickel. We had the spike that went kind of crazy with the short in the market, but really the fundamentals are there for nickel. Like we're trading above $15 a pound. Consistently. And that's really where it's settled into. And that's just an example of there's just a lack of nickel in the market for the future demand that the battery markets is going to bring to the nickel market itself. And really, if you take a look at the sources of nickel, there's laterite nickel and there's sulfide nickel. And the laterite nickel it's a less environmentally friendly nickel. It's got a lot of challenges with it. It's all politically set up and just Indonesia only. So it's got a geopolitical risk associated with it. And then so when you pull out the sulfides can be processed through the traditional nickel smelting operations to produce the class 1 nickel for batteries. And so really where Nickel Creek is we represent really the future of the nickel sulfide world. There's not the big nickel finds anymore, right? Voisey's Bay was found way back in the 90s, and there hasn't been big nickel finds in the sulfide side. So what they're looking for is that next phase, which is Nickel Creek.
Very good. So then, Stuart, from to close us out here today, from what you can tell us, what would you say are the 1 to 2 things that investors should really understand about the company moving forward here in 2022?
Yeah, so we're setting ourselves up to move forward. So first off, we're going to do some more exploration, but really we're working our way towards a PFS. Like it's really now the phase of moving along the development curve. I would say that our project had been in a bit of a holding pattern, waiting for the nickel market. Now that the nickel market is here, it's really the time to watch Nickel Creek move along its development phase. And that's really what our focus will be over the next year.
Very good. Well, Stuart, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on Nickel Creek?
You've got to come to our website, absolutely. And what we have on there is obviously all of the information associated with the project itself. But the key, I think, that for all investors, educate yourself on the nickel world, I just educate yourself on just what are the possible nickel projects, and understand that a project like us that has both copper, PGMs, in addition to the nickel, means that, from a value per ton of mining, we're mining higher value tons, compared to other competitors in the market. And that's a real, key criteria when you're looking at the competitors in that space.
Very good. So you have to go to the website, which is nickelcreekplatinum.com.
Yeah.
And with that, Stuart, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I'll see you in Vegas.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.